If you just had your record expunged or sealed and are out looking for a job, your criminal record may still show up on a background check unless you do something very important. This video will tell you what that is and answer several other important questions about how to get the most out of your expungement or record sealing. Here's something most people don't know about expungement and record sealing. Having your record expunged or sealed at the courthouse is often only the first step to clearing your record and putting the past behind you. That is because, in general, courts do not notify commercial background check companies each time a criminal record is sealed or expunged. And criminal background check companies are where most employers go to obtain background check information. This means that commercial background check companies, who often acquire criminal records just once a year, won't know about your expungement or sealing until they do their annual update. This means that your expunged or sealed record may show up on commercial background checks for up to a year or more. This is a big problem. Our law firm gets calls and emails from people all over the country asking why their expunged record is still showing on a background check. The Wall Street Journal even wrote a story about it. The good news is this: there are steps that you can take to help solve this problem. Before we talk about the solutions, it is important to know a little bit more about the very complicated world of background checks. We categorize background checks into three categories. The first category of background checks are government sources, such as the courts, state repositories, and the FBI. Most employers do not directly access government sources when they do background checks. However, most licensing and regulatory authorities and government employers will use government sources. The good news is that these sources are automatically updated at various time intervals when a record is sealed or expunged. The second source of background checks are regulated background check providers. Most employers use regulated background check providers. They're called regulated because they are regulated by federal and sometimes state laws. These are the providers that are the most important to update after your record is expunged or sealed by the court. We'll talk more about these in a minute. The third category of background checks are unregulated background check providers. These are the low-cost providers of background checks that are all over the internet. They're called unregulated because they do not claim to be governed by federal or state law. They tell people not to rely on the reports for employment or housing decisions, a request that many landlords and employers ignore. Okay, so there are the three categories: government, regulated commercial background checks, and unregulated. Since government sources will automatically be updated, let's focus our efforts and attention on the other two categories and how to get the most out of your expungement or record sealing. Let's start with regulated background check companies. For most people, this is the most important category. An estimated 90% of private sector employees who will do background checks will fall into this category. Most of the regulated background check companies obtain criminal records once a year from the courts or government agencies. This saves them the cost of checking every court and every agency every time an employer or landlord wants to do a background check on someone. Otherwise, background checks would cost tens of thousands of dollars each. This system of purchasing criminal records on a yearly basis makes background checks affordable and helps everyone except people who just had their records sealed or expunged. Here's why. Let's say the background check company purchases data from the court in July, and you had your record expunged or sealed a few weeks later in August. The background check company will not know that your record is expunged or sealed until they do their update next July. This means the background check company will continue to provide information about your criminal record on background checks that they provide for nearly a year. This unfortunate situation happens all the time. So, how do you prevent your expunged or sealed record from appearing on private sector databases? Well, unless you want to wait up to a year for them to do their updates, you will have to update them yourself. This means that you'll have to gather all the contact information for these companies and send them a copy of your official court document that shows your record was sealed or expunged. Or, the smarter and faster way is to use our Expedited Criminal Record Update Service. We call it ERCU for short. Our exclusive ERCU service will get your expunged and sealed record removed from more than 600 leading private background check companies in 14 days or less. This service is a great investment if you recently had your record expunged or sealed and you're out looking for a job in the private sector. Okay, let's talk about the third category, unregulated background check companies. The third place you want to clear your record is with the dozens of people search websites like Been Verified that make criminal records available to the public, often for free, so your friends, neighbors, and coworkers can easily see your criminal record. Even some landlords and employers use these sites. Worst of all, these sites typically do not remove expunged or sealed records unless you ask them to remove information about you. Our background check removal service, we call BCR, will remove your information from 30 leading unregulated sites in just 45 days. Best of all, we can have your records removed from these sites even if you have not had your records sealed or expunged. This inexpensive service is a must if you want to greatly reduce the chances of anyone in the general public seeing your criminal record. So, in review, government sources will be automatically updated after your record is sealed or expunged. Regulated background check companies, the ones used most often by employers, can take up to a year to update their records, so you need to use our expedited criminal record update service. You can get your information removed from 30 leading unregulated background check sites today, even if your record hasn't been sealed or expunged, by using our background check removal service. For information, pricing, or to order these services, go to the website on the screen. If you have questions about this video, post them below. Laws are always changing, so make sure to follow us on social media. Thank you for watching RecordGone TV.